Boker Tov chickens. Good morning, everybody.
Shalom, Rabbi.
Hello.
Everybody turn on their cameras. It's Sanchez land, Lopez land, Yat land, Heidi, Allie Mae land, and Jarris land, Sinclair land. Alrighty, let's start off our week here. Okay. Lev's gonna pray, and Jarris girls are gonna do the Shema, and Mia's gonna do the Ten Commandments in Hebrew.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for everything you have given us. Please, Lord, help us to learn something new over the week, and help us not to like get distracted. In Yeshua's name, amen.
Shema Israel, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Ehad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malkuto Leolam Vayed. Hear Israel, the Lord our God is one God. Anoki Yehovah Elohecha, Lo yeh lecha elohim achrim al pnei, lo tizak et shem Yehovah Elohecha l'shav, zakor et yom ha-shabbat l'kadsho, kabeh avicha be'et imacha, lo tirzak, lo tinaf, lo tignof, lo ta'anei b'recha et sheker,
lo tagmot.
Very good there, Manjaris girls. All right, we also want to congratulate Mia. Mia passed she got her first license yesterday. She's now a shortwave radio operator. She can talk to children and people around the globe for free. She doesn't need a cell phone. She just has a radio. We're going to have to buy her a radio. I'm going to have to buy you a radio to congratulate you. Yes, and all you kids can learn how to be shortwave radio operators. Everybody give me a big hand. Oh, and you can get your technician's book and study it. And then in November, we can all take the test. All right, and become shortwave radio operators. Then when you can talk to one another over the shortwave radio, bounce things off the atmosphere and talk to people in Fiji, talk to children all around the globe. Yay! Mia did well. All right. Now let's start our class off. Got some people missing this morning, but we got a big group here anyway. All right, let's see. Let's see. Benjamin. Read Vayikra 15 verses 1, 2, and 3. Benjamin.
Adonai said to Moshe and Aaron, tell the people of Israel, when any man has a discharge from his body, the discharge is unclean. The discharge is unclean no matter whether it continues flowing or has stopped. It is still his uncleanliness.
Very good, Ben. Thank you very much for reading. Okay, once again, we're going to be going over a lot of things about healthcare this week because the Bible is a healthcare book. It's the manual for the hospital of the community. All right, so now we got to first learn to see if we know what some words are. We got to start with our vocabulary words to make sure that everybody is on the right page. Okay. Let's see. Arlena, who's got her mouth full of food. She's got her Nutella sandwich. Okay. Arlena, what does the word discharge mean? Do you know what the word discharge means?
Discharge means I don't know.
Okay, discharge means I don't know. I don't know. Do you know what the word unclean means, Arlena? Unclean?
Yes, I know unclean.
Okay, tell me what unclean means.
Unclean means you can't touch the other person because the other person is unclean.
Okay, very good, very good. Let's see. Yeshua, can you tell me what discharge means? What a discharge is? Hi, Pincus.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Pincus.
He's stretching his That's Hannah.
Okay, can you tell me what discharge means, Yeshua?
Discharge means is you throw up, you have diarrhea.
You throw up or you have diarrhea. Very good, very good. Dayon, what does discharge mean? You're muted, can't hear you. There you go.
Like your telephone is discharged.
Say that again, please.
When a person is sick.
What do you mean when they're sick? Explain that to me, Dayon. 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 Dayon disappeared. Okay. Well, we'll come back to Dayon. Jeremiah, is Jeremiah there? I only see Jacob's head. I'm looking at your clock again.
No, he was at he went to the bathroom before leaving.
To the bathroom? You were late and then you went to the bathroom? Did you guys wake up late again?
He couldn't hold it.
Okay. Well then, Jacob, tell me what a discharge is.
A discharge is like when you have like something is unconnected with your body, like you can't control the part of your body. Like let's say you're vomiting, you're having problems with your body, you're having diarrhea a lot.
Okay. Well, why would somebody have diarrhea? Like, what's going on? Why would somebody be?
Because like you can't you're not in control of that part. You're not in control of that part of your body, so you can't like really you can't really stop. It just keeps on flowing and flowing.
Okay. All right, Ben. Ben's got his hand up. Benjamin.
Discharge means to release any fluid that's in your body, like vomit, diarrhea.
Well, you said any fluid. So, would oops, 1 second here. Would PP be discharge if you go urinate, if you go pee?
No,
Why is that different?
it's like any fluid that's maybe not supposed to get out.
Some fluid that's not supposed to come out. Okay, that's pretty good there, Mr. Benjamin. Let's go to Marley. Marley, what's a discharge? You're muted, Marley.
Discharge is like when you vomit, when you have diarrhea, you can have leprosy.
Okay, you can have discharge, you have diarrhea. Why would somebody have diarrhea?
Well, one thing is you might eat too many prunes.
You might eat too many prunes and have diarrhea. How many prunes would that be then?
50, maybe.
Well, just a lot.
Well, a lot.
A handful.
All right, Arlette?
Well, prunes actually only cause stomach aches.
You can't eat a prune? I like prunes.
Yeah, but prunes
Well,
cause
just,
stomach aches if you eat too many.
yeah, just don't eat them in big amounts.
Well, what is a big amount?
Like for example, eating like 5 or 6 a day.
5 or 6 a day?
You can probably get the same effect from eating a full pound of cherries.
I
Trust me,
mean-
I know.
When my dad started eating the prunes just because they're yummy, he complained the next morning that he had a stomach ache. So
Okay. All right, so Mia's got her hand up. Mia?
Okay, number one, I have two things. One on the prunes and the other one on the discharge part. So yes, it's right. The discharge about the diarrhea, the throw up. Yeah, we know that. The discharge is unclean. So a discharge is something that shouldn't be coming out of you. Like it comes out of the ordinary because your body's trying to throw something out. Like something's wrong with your body. Like something's wrong with your body. It's trying to get rid of something. Like throwing up, your body's trying to get rid of some sort of bacteria or some sort of food that's in your stomach. So some when it comes to discharge, it comes like out of the ordinary, like you're not expecting it. And the part of the prunes loosen your stools anyway, so that's why you have a stomach ache.
What, it's like a little grease in your intestines, Mia? Oh, we lost her. Okay. Jacob? Jacob's got his hand up.
About the diarrhea part, you can get diarrhea only. It can be when you get a stomach virus.
Okay. Well, how do you get this stomach virus? Do you buy it at the store?
No. When you it's like when you get sick. You get sick and you start eating things that are not healthy, and then you start to get coughing, and then you get sick, and then your stomach starts to hurt, and then you keep on doing diarrhea a lot.
Okay, so you start coughing and then your stomach hurts because you're coughing?
No, because you're eating things that are not healthy and not right. Like
Okay,
you're allergic to it.
what's not healthy to eat?
Like, let's say,
Like broccoli?
no, that's good.
Broccoli's good? Do you
Yes,
like broccoli?
yes.
You're a weird
I ate it.
child.
I ate it with chicken Alfredo yesterday, and spaghetti and bread.
You ruined it. You ruined it. You put broccoli on. Okay, so what's something bad to eat?
When Chinese food.
What if you go
Maybe.
to a kosher? What if you go to a kosher Chinese place?
Yes, it's kosher.
Okay. Mia's got her hand up.
No, the way you get a stomach bug and a stomach virus or a stomach bug, I like the term stomach bug better. you get the stomach virus from like it could be something you ate that like it made your stomach upset and your stomach wants to get rid of your body wants to get rid of it by throwing it up or throwing down whatever is your term. Throwing it doesn't matter. I mean Yeah, it does.
How?
So you get the stomach virus from like something you ate, or it could be that just something you ate, something you ate that made your stomach upset, or there's some sort of bacteria in like the food that you ate, like foodborne illnesses, which would be stomach viruses. Usually bacteria comes into the usually you get a stomach bug from like eating raw foods. I think it is that you get like a stomach virus. Sometimes you get stomach viruses from eating raw foods, like undercooked meat, like not medium well, but I mean
Like
like
uncooked food like broccoli?
no, that's different. No, it's usually with meat or fish. Like you under like you know how for the meat there's well done, medium well, and then there's a lower one. And the lowest cooking part is that it's still raw and like a bit mushy, like the meat.
Rare.
Huh?
Rare.
Okay, thank you. The rare cooked meat, it still has the blood in it. So there's a high possibility that bacteria could get into that if you eat the rare done burger, let's say, you can get a stomach virus. Virus.
Okay, very good, everybody. All right, the reason we're talking about this is if you have a discharge from your body, it's something that's called contagious. Contagious. Let's see here. Who can tell me what the word contagious means? Contagious. Yeshua, can you tell me what the word contagious means?
Contagion means that if a dust is sick, I get sick.
Well, how do you get sick? You know, if a dog is sick.
When Hadassah sneezes, or coughs, I get sick.
Okay, that was pretty good, Yeshua. Ali Mae. Can't hear you, Flo.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Contagious means to like you're like if you're sick, then you're having a discharge, for instance, then it means that it's contagious, that you can give it to somebody else.
That you can give it to somebody else. Okay. Marley, what do you think the word contagious means?
Contagious is when you can catch things like a cold. I think leprosy, stuff like that.
Okay. Arlette?
Well, contagious means that it can be caught by other people or other living creatures. For example,
What do you mean?
well, it's like a cold. If someone, if like people can spread germs by touching things, for example, and if the next person touches that same thing and then puts their hand in their mouth or something like that, or touches their face and doesn't wash their hands, then they're gonna definitely get a cold.
But don't you want to share your cold with your sister?
No, that's the one thing you do not want to share.
Well, I could do it now. JK.
Don't you want to share it with Adrian? Don't you want to share like your vomit with Adrian?
That's
That's
why
not-
I'm wearing this. It's to protect myself from germs.
I
and to
don't.
keep
I
myself
wouldn't
warm.
share. I wouldn't share that with anybody. Just to be
Okay.
nice.
Okay, very good. Jeremiah, what is contagious? What is contagious? And then Ben, you're after Jeremiah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Did everything come out okay in the bathroom? Well, that's good. Did you leave everything in the bathroom there? Didn't bring it out to give it to your brother?
Yes.
Okay, can you explain to me what the word contagious means?
Contagious means that if you have like, let's say if I have a cold and then and and then I'll like pass it over to my brother if we like play together, because if we play together and like we're like driving like, and we're playing with our cars, right? And then we like bump into each other and our hands touches each other, and the germs could go to my brother. Then we both have the same virus.
Well, isn't it good that you both have the same thing?
Because then we're both sick.
Won't mom like that?
No.
To have both of you sick at the same time?
No.
Well, then you get it over with if you're both sick at the same time. No? All right, let me see what Ben's got to say.
Um. So. So.
What's contagious?
Contagious is when there's a disease flowing through other people. So, contagious is like when there's diseases going through other people, like getting them sick, and it can go on and on and on to like pass it down to other people.
Okay, very good, Ben. Very good. All right. Lever Baloney, you got your hand up, Lever Baloney? I love pizza shirt lady.
Well, also, when someone sneezes on you and they like have diarrhea, I mean, not diarrhea. When they like vomit or something and when they like are vomiting and they sneeze on you and like only like 1 or 2 drops go on you, that's enough to get you sick.
Well, isn't it fun? Isn't it fun when everybody's sick together?
Do you want to share your experience about the hand food and mouth disease that you got? Was it fun?
The hands, foot, and mouth disease that I got, it was not fun. Because I got some in my mouth, my hands, and like my feet.
Was it painful?
Yep. When I was like walking, it hurt real bad.
And you gave that to Asher, or Asher gave it to you?
I'm not sure.
Who came sick? You got sick. Yeah, then.
Okay, Mia's got her hand up.
Well, I mean, about the hand, foot, and mouth disease, that was terrible for me. I got hit mostly in my mouth with that. I mean, I got it in my hands and feet, but like, well, it wasn't as bad as Lev had it.
Well, could you talk less when you had this disease?
It sounded like I had a little lisp. Like if when I pronounced like the S, like if I pronounced S in a word, it would sound like TH, like along with the S sound. And I tried to pronounce S properly. Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody. So the reason we're talking about this is because you guys got brothers and sisters, and then even in the community when we come to congregation, it's very bad if people are having a discharge. Okay, if somebody look at our picture here, and the boy's got a bloody nose. Okay, that's a discharge. That means the person's unclean because we don't know why the person's got the bloody nose. So it could be a very bad thing. If you have diarrhea, That's a real bad thing. Diarrhea is very, very, very contagious. Okay. If you're vomiting, it can be very contagious. Okay. Yes, Adrian? Nice hair.
I can't see the picture. It's in full screen mode or something like that.
Okay, you wanted to say something? Or you just.
No, that's
No,
okay.
checking?
Can't
we
see the
can't see the
picture.
picture. It's in
Um,
full screen.
can everybody else see the picture? Are you on the computer? You're on the computer. You're not on the phone, right?
Yeah,
No,
computer.
phone. Computer.
Um, log out and log back in because everybody else can see it.
Okay, that might do it.
Yeah, log out and log in. Okay.
Bye.
See you in a minute.
Okay. So discharges are very contagious, and when one person is sick, don't you feel like really bad when you're sick and you just want to lie in bed, right? Everybody, when they're sick, they just want to lie in bed. Okay. And you feel very weak, right? You feel weak. Everybody feel weak. Everybody feel weak. You can't even lift your arms. You're like, can't lift my arms. Okay. So imagine if everybody in the house got sick. Well, imagine if mom and dad got sick. Imagine all your brothers and sisters got sick. All at the same time, that's a real big problem, especially if you're vomiting and your diarrhea, because then you got to wash all those clothes and all those sheets and do all that stuff. And then who's going food shopping because you're sick? You can't go food shopping. So it's what we're looking at here is Jehovah said to Moshe, tell the people of Israel, when any man has a discharge, okay, so we could change it to anybody, has a discharge from his body, the discharge is unclean. The discharge is unclean no matter whether it continues flowing or stops. It is still his uncleanliness, okay? So the discharge, the stuff that's coming out of you, okay, that's what's unclean. And you don't want it to be touching anybody else because there's a reason, and there's many different reasons that maybe we'll get into a little bit this week on why your body's trying to get rid of this stuff. Okay, why are you vomiting? Okay, there's a reason why you're vomiting. Now, little babies, they're vomiting because their bodies are not really big yet. So like little Pinkus or little Eliyahu, little babies, they vomit much more, okay, because they overeat and then so they get rid of it. But when like somebody like Lev's age or Jeremiah's age or Arlena's age or any of you guys' age or even an adult vomits, that means there's something that's not right in their body. Their body didn't like something was bad. And sometimes you get a bloody nose, like we see in the picture here. Okay, we see in the picture, okay, that the boy's got a bloody nose. Okay, so why did the boy get the bloody nose? Did he get punched in the nose? Did he pick his nose? Okay, you got to figure out why. If you're just sitting there and all of a sudden your nose starts bleeding, there could be a problem. Okay, so the discharge, or you ate something and your body doesn't like it. So there's two ways that it can try to get rid of it. Sometimes it goes down through your bowels, through your intestines, okay? And then you have diarrhea, okay? And your body's really trying to, the reason you have diarrhea is because your body's trying to get rid of something that's going to do something really bad to your body. And sometimes it comes out your mouth. So it comes because it didn't get into your intestines yet. So you got your mouth. Everybody point to your mouth. Then you got your throat. Okay, everybody point to your throat. Okay, then point to your chest here. Everybody point to your chest. That's your esophagus. Okay, point to your chest. Go like this up and down your chest a little bit. Okay, that's your esophagus. So the food goes into your mouth and you chew it. You got your teeth. You got the teeth. You got the teeth. And then when you're chewing, you got all that liquid in your mouth, right? Called saliva. That's helping to break the food down so your body can use it. and it goes down your throat into your esophagus. You see, there's my throat. There's my throat. Okay, gotta put the blanket back down. Lift the blanket. See the throat. Put the blanket down. Okay. So here, and it goes down your throat, and then it goes down your esophagus, and it goes into your belly. Now sometimes in your belly, everybody pat their belly, 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 belly. Okay. Now sometimes in your belly, that's where the problem happens. You're like, and everybody go, like not just a burp, but it's like, okay. You ate something and you're just like, that didn't taste good. And then all of a sudden, you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Mm, and you start to sometimes you start to sweat. You're like because you're trying not to vomit, and you're feeling really dizzy, and you're like, oh, Ma, I don't feel good. Right, Lev? You go, Ma, I don't feel good. Right, Jeremiah? You go, Ma, I don't feel good. Yeah. You tell Dad, you tell Dad you don't feel good. It's like, get over it. Okay, Mom's like, what's wrong? What's wrong, Lev? What's wrong? Okay. Allie Mae's mom was like, Allie Mae, what's your problem? Okay. So here, so you start feeling, so it's in your stomach, and that's when it's gonna, and you're gonna throw down. Okay. Because it's gonna come up back to your, it's gonna come up your esophagus. It's gonna go, it's gonna go up your neck, your throat, and then, and you're gonna throw down. And that's when before you throw down, you got to get to the bathroom. Okay? Before you throw down, you got to get to the bathroom. Because why? Because in verse number 2 it says, "Tell the people of Israel, Am Yisrael, or Bnei Yisrael, when any man has a discharge from his body, the discharge is unclean." So you want to make sure if you're not feeling well and you're going to vomit, okay? If you're going to vomit, make sure you try to get it into the toilet, okay? You gotta like get your face really close to where your butt normally is, and you go blah. Okay, because the vomit is very contagious. Okay, so this happens like even at sometimes you might even get sick on Shabbat and you're at the congregation. So you gotta make sure you get to the bathroom or get to a garbage can. Okay, and vomit into the garbage can. You don't want it on the rug. You don't want it on the floor, because what Jehovah's telling us is what came out of you is unclean. So if then somebody touches it with their hand and they get an itch on their nose and they put it on their nose and they breathe it in, then they will get sick. Okay? So the Lord is Jehovah's telling us is that the discharge itself is unclean and then you become unclean, okay, because you touch the discharge. Okay? Now sometimes what happens, everybody pay attention. Sometimes you put it in your mouth, you chew it, and then it goes down your throat. Everybody do it down your throat. Then it goes down your esophagus into your belly, and then sometimes it sits there a little bit of time. So it takes about 45 minutes for your body to digest what's in your stomach, and then it starts going into everybody go across the middle of your underneath your belly in your intestines. Okay, that's your intestines. That's your digestional tract. Okay, and then starts going like this, and your everybody go like this, because that's where you get all your nutrients. Once it gets past your stomach, it goes into your intestinal tract, and that's where your body starts taking out all the good stuff, because it bubbles in your intestinal tract. Okay, so it's bubbling in your intestinal tract, and all of a sudden, that bug that was in that food starts to go. And then you start feeling, then you start farting. Okay, everybody go fart, 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 fart. Okay, and then you really start feeling icky. Okay? What's going to happen is sometimes it happens about 2 hours after you eat if you're going to get sick. Okay? Because it's in your intestines and your body's saying, I don't want this stuff in my body. So it's going to then you're going to have then you're going to be farting. First, what's going to happen most of the time is you start to fart a lot. Okay? Because your body's trying to what happens why we're doing this is in your intestines is making a lot of gas because something is wrong with what you ate. So it starts to make a lot of gas, and your intestine is a tube. Okay, your intestine is like a tube. It's a long tube. It's like everybody have one of those long balloons. One of those long balloons. You ever blow up one of those long balloons? Go, and it goes. Okay, that's basically what your intestine look like. Okay, it's a big long tube, and everybody's got 25 feet 25 feet of intestine. Okay? And Dr. Mark, if anybody ever gets hurt, Dr. Mark works on that and he fixes people's intestines and things like that. So he shows up the tube. Okay, but what happens is that in the tube, something's going on that's not your body doesn't like. And then the gas starts to first happen. You're like, brr. And then sometimes you go to the bathroom and you have the stool comes out, the poopy comes out, and it's regular, looks regular. Okay. But then a little while later, you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom again. You're like, I never go to the bathroom a second time, like within an hour. Okay. And then you really start to feel bad. And then you're going to the bathroom, and then you have something called diarrhea, where the poop comes out of you, but it's all liquid. Okay. That's your intestines trying to get rid of the stuff that your body doesn't want. Okay? So that diarrhea, that brown liquid stuff coming out of you, as we read in verse 2, tell the people of Israel, when any man or person has a discharge from their body, the discharge is unclean. So you don't want to touch the diarrhea. Okay, you do have to wipe your bottoms, your buttocks, okay? But you want to make sure you wash your hands really good afterwards. And sometimes when you have diarrhea, it comes out of you really hard. It comes out really fast and it splatters on the toilet. Okay, you want to make sure you tell your parents that you had diarrhea and that you're not feeling good. And nobody else can go in until you clean that toilet. Okay, so if it happens at the congregation, make sure you tell one one of the ushers so that we can make sure we can go get somebody to clean that before somebody else goes in there. Okay, because the discharge is unclean. Now, if somebody else sits on that toilet that you sat on and it's got some of the diarrhea on the seat or where it could get on them, then they can get sick too. Okay? And then they might not get sick at congregation, but when they get home, then all the other kids get. So let's say they're like the Laras and they got a whole bunch of children at their house. Then all the kids get sick because they didn't know that you had a discharge and they touched you. Okay? So it's very important. This is very important because this is something while we looked at the word, we talked about the word contagious. Okay? Contagious means that everybody else can get it. So let's say you drink from the same water bottle and you're sick. That means both of you will be sick. Okay, normally you can drink from siblings can drink from the same water bottle. But if you're feeling sick, you shouldn't do it. Okay, because then your germs in your mouth, everybody pointing your mouth, that's where your most germs are in your mouth. Your mouth is the most germ-filled place in your body. Okay, so we start off with this. It's very important. Okay, if you have a discharge, if you're vomiting, if your nose is bleeding, if you have diarrhea. Okay, is there any other discharge? Anybody think of any other discharge? Mia?
For women, the nida.
Women have an ADA. Okay, it's a little bit different, but it is blood. So we went over that last week. Okay, any other discharge? Anybody think of anybody? vomiting or diarrhea or something else? Okay. Benjamin? It's Tiffany. Sorry, it's Tiffany. Tiffany, any other discharge?
Well, I remember when you went over about leprosy, I think a few messages ago, you said that it was like a bubble and that when it popped, all the pus came out and that it smelled. That technically that would count as a discharge because of the pus that's coming out of you.
Very good, Tiffany. If you have a leprosy like we were talking about last week, or something like anybody ever get poison ivy? Anybody poison ivy? Okay, that's very, very contagious because the liquid that comes out of the bubble, the leprosy, because poison ivy is like a leprosy. Okay, the liquid that comes out of the poison ivy, that bubble that's on your arm or wherever you get it, that's the part that's very contagious. Okay, so we're going to be talking about things that are contagious and what happens next. Okay, so let's go on to the next picture. Okay, we're going to be talking about that. Okay. Okay, let's read. Let's go back now to Vayikra 14, verse 2 and 3. Jeremiah, read Vayikra 14, verse 2 and 3.
This is to be the law concerning the person afflicted with Tasara on the day
Tizarat.
Tisera on the day of his purification. He is to be brought to the Kohen, and the Kohen is to go outside the camp to examine him there. If he sees that the Kazarat source have been healed, that in the affected person, then the Kohen will order.
Okay, very good, Jeremiah. Very good. Okay, now we got to look at a couple of words now. Okay, so we're going back to Tizarat that we were talking about last week. Okay, because the Bible is telling us how we should live our lives and what happens if somebody is sick. Okay, so here this word that Jeremiah was having a hard time reading, that means it's a new word for him, and the new word is good because we have to grow. Everybody grow. Everybody grow. Okay, growing because we grow up and we grow new leaves. Okay, so we want to grow our vocabulary. Okay, we want to grow our vocabulary. Okay, so here, what does the word afflicted mean? Afflicted. Marley, what does the word afflicted mean? Afflicted.
Afflicted, it's, I know what it means, but I can't describe it. Hey.
Okay, you know what it means. You can't describe it. Let the bit. Dayon.
Conflict.
Dayon. What does the word afflicted mean? Afflicted.
I don't know.
Jacob. What does the word afflicted mean, Jacob?
Afflicted is like the person is in pain. It's like in pain.
Okay, like in pain. That's pretty good. Allie Mae, what does the word afflicted mean? Afflicted.
Afflicted means like if there's a person and he gets like if that person gets sick, that means he's afflicted with that sickness. It means he's like, I guess, like given. I don't know what other word to describe it. Like
Given. That's a pretty good word. That's pretty good. David. David Vicente. What does afflicted mean, David? And Ariel, you're next.
I think it means to be um punished by someone.
Punished by someone? No. Sort of, but not really.
Okay.
Ariel, what is afflicted?
To be like stricken with something, struck, like to get something, or really like struck with something.
What do you mean? Struck with something? Struck with a baseball bat?
No, it's like a disease when it like hits, like when you get a disease and it starts spreading throughout your body and it becomes bad, like you're afflicted with it now, since you have it.
Okay, Tiffany, what do you think? What's afflicted, Tiffany?
The person, like that the person here is afflicted with his rot. He has it. I think he's trying to say that he has the disease with him.
Okay. He has a disease with him. That's pretty good. Mia?
Afflicted or affliction is the suffering of a person. Like a person suffering from a sickness, or Yeshua, who was afflicted with our sins, means that that he was suffering. He went through all that suffering for us. So being afflicted or affliction is the suffering of something.
Okay, very good, Mia. Very good. Ariel and Tiffany. Okay, afflicted means to be given something, but in a negative, in a bad way. To be given something, but in a bad way. Okay, Marley, you understand it? To be given something, but in a bad way. You know, because you can be given something good, like an ice cream. Okay, especially yesterday when it was so hot out. Driving back to my home, it was 103 degrees. It was pretty hot out there. Okay, so to be given an ice cream is to be given a good thing. But afflicted means you're given something, but in a negative way or a bad way. Okay. Um, Now let's go to another word to make sure that we understand the vocabulary. Jeremiah, what does it mean to examine? Jeremiah, then Dana. Jeremiah, then Dana. What does it mean to examine? And then Arlena.
Look if it has disease.
To look at it. Can you examine something else? What does the word examine mean? I mean, we're looking at it as a person with disease. Can you examine something else?
I know.
I don't think so.
Okay, you don't think you can examine anything else? Okay, Dan, what does the word examine mean?
See things, like seeing far away things, close things.
What do you mean?
Like the grass over there and our chairs,
How do you examine the grass over there?
because you can see them.
You can see the grass, so you're examining the grass?
You're examining people.
David, go ahead.
For me, examine means like to look at something, um, like for doctors when someone's sick or like something, if someone like broke a bone, something like that, they could look through the part where it's broken.
Oh, with an X-ray.
Yeah, with an X-ray. Yeah, no worries.
Okay. All right. Examine. Okay. Everybody. Jeremiah, what does examine mean?
I did not hear.
That whole time Dayon and David were talking, you didn't hear? Jacob, did you hear them? Are you having Jeremiah, you gotta start paying attention. Don't be fogging out. If you're having technology issues, that's one thing. But if your brother can hear and you don't, that means you're it's summertime. Okay? We're in here to learn and grow in our understanding. Didn't know what the word examine means, so you gotta listen to the explanation. Lev, tell Jeremiah what the word examine means.
Examine means to like check someone or something to see if there's something on it or something wrong. Like mold. Let's say a plant you're checking for that you're gonna eat. You're checking for like mold or something that's growing on it or like holes on it because sometimes caterpillars eat your plants that you're planting. So you're checking what to see if there's anything wrong.
Hey, Jeremiah, what did Lev say?
Lev said that let's say that like if you're checking a plant and if it has anything bad on it and like if it's like growing mold or holes, then it's like not having a good then other night and the and
Oh, that was pretty good. You're looking. Now, also when we're bringing offerings, remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about offerings. Okay, we had to examine the animal. We had to examine the animal to see if it had defects. Okay, now we're examining the person who is afflicted with something that is not good. Okay, to see if he still has the disease. Okay, so as we examined the animal, okay, we looked for defects. Remember, we were talking about looking at the mouth and the fur and the feet and every part of the animal's body, right? Everybody remember that? If you remember that, please give me a thumbs up. Everybody give me a thumbs up. Okay, so we examine the animal. So it's the same thing as we're examining. We're checking the person or examining the person to see if they're okay. Now here, let's read verse 2 and 3. Mia, read verse 2 and 3.
This is to be the law concerning the person afflicted with tesseract on the day of his purification. He is to be brought to the Kohen, and the Kohen is to go outside the camp and examine him there. If he sees that the tesseract sores have been healed in the afflicted person.
Okay, very good, Mia. Thank you. Yeshua, why is he going outside the camp to examine him?
When nobody else could get sick.
Well, how long has he been out there? Has he been out there like a month?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Why is he out there a month? Who's going to be taking care of his own house if he's out there a month?
I don't know.
You don't know? didn't God tell us in the scripture that we were reading?
You had to bring 7 goats or cows.
What? What did you just say?
I just said you had to offer like goats.
Well, we're not at that part. I'm asking you why the Cohen's got to go outside the camp to examine him there. Why has he been out? You said he's been out there a month. Why has he been out there a month?
For the sickness to go off.
Okay, the sickness to go off. Hey, Jacob.
The Cohen has to examine the person outside the camp because so no other nobody else so the disease won't spread, and he has to examine them to check if he doesn't have the disease anymore. Like he has to be he because he doesn't stay there for a month. He stays there outside the camp for 7 days.
All right, very good, very good. Okay, so as we come to the end of our class today, another minute or two. Okay, remember last week? Remember the lady that was surrounded by the fence last week, and she was separated so that nobody else got sick. So if you have diarrhea or if you have vomiting, your parents need to put you in a separate room, okay, so that nobody else gets sick, okay, because it's very contagious. Okay, so what we're talking about here, okay, one last time we read it. This is to be the law concerning the person afflicted with tisserot, that's leprosy. On the day of his purification, he's been brought to the Kohen, and the Kohen is to go outside the camp to examine them there to see if the tisserot sores have been healed. Okay, so we're looking for signs of healing. So as we looked at last week, we looked at the pictures to show you what was happening, and we talked about how it got better. Okay, so the same here is you see the fence there in the picture. Okay, let me just get my little tool, and then we'll close after that. Get my little tool. Okay, there's the fence. Okay, the Cohen is over here. The person with the tisserot is over here behind the fence. Okay, behind the fence. Okay, so the person with the tisserot will be brought to the fence. Okay, well, the Cohen will actually examine her. He's going to look at her or her to see if the sores have gotten better, because you want to make sure the person stays outside the camp, especially if they got diarrhea or they got vomiting. You don't want to have a person, regular sized person, not a baby. Babies always vomit, okay? But they're not vomiting because they're sick. They're vomiting because their stomachs are small, okay? So the Cohen is to go outside the fence, and there the person will be examined, okay? Now we'll come to our end of our class. It's now 10 o'clock. All right, let me close this, and then I'll ask you one final question. Okay, let me fix this up here. And let me do this over here so I can see all your wonderful faces and see. Let me ask a question. Then you raise your hand. What is God's favorite number? Raise your hand. Mia was first. Mia was first.
7.
Right. Closes in prayer, Miss Mia. Miss Shortwave KMB353 was get your call sign soon.
Yeah, I have to look at that.
703.
Okay. Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for letting us have another life. Thank you for letting us begin another week of learning the Torah. Please, Lord, I ask you that you would help us, that we would take this knowledge and that we would apply it to our lives, and that you would also help us to listen to our parents each day, and that you would also help us to glorify you wherever we go. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, thank you. Shalom. Amen. Everybody have a great day.